Well,
Can you give me an example?
Well, for example, they were taxing the shit out of us when we'd import stuff into their country.
I asked you to give me an example because Trump, I just quantified that Trump made this problem, let's see, not just double, 2.5x worse, because we were much better under the 8% than we now are under the 30%. You want Americans to pay more tariffs from China. So I'm going to. Well, that's literally what the trade deal. So let's just break this down in basic mathematics, right? What numbers?
China's paying more tariffs.
What's number? No, we're paying more tariffs. What number's bigger, 8 or 30?
Could I read you the
So
I saw today?
Hey, Charles, like I would love that you would stop disrespecting me on my panel because I'm asking you.
I'm trying to ask you a question.
Well, no, because you haven't even answered. So I'm just.
Well, I have a source that I want to give to you.
Okay, after you answer my question, I will be glad to let you read your source because I've got the quantitative breakdown here myself. And okay, so I'm gonna say this slowly, right? What number is bigger, 8 or 30?
30. I just don't think your source is correct.
Okay, so you're telling me that the trade deal that Trump signed isn't correct?
No, I'm going to give you my source right now. Could I find it quickly?
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead and find it because I got the one that Trump signed. But if it's a new source, let's just look at the same deal because this is honestly kind of pathetic at this point. But go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Give me a minute.
Yeah, if it's a new source, I'm rejecting it because I'm looking at the actual.
Well, and while he's finding his weird source, and I can repeat this again, but even if we consider the UK trade deal, which was ridiculous, that's just basically lowering the import rates on Rolls Royces. But even if we consider the UK and China trade talks, the average tariff rate in the US is 17.8%, the highest since 1934, since the Great Depression. These Trump taxes will cost the average family around $2,800 per year. I mean, that's the average tariff rate after the UK and China deals, which are not permanent, factored in. These are still the highest tax rates, and tax rates not approved by Congress. Again, we are being taxed without representation. So it doesn't matter how you do the math. It's still worse than any tax since the Smoot-Hawley tariffs that drove us into the great.
Are you ready for the WhiteHouse.gov source?
Sure.
China is going from 34% tariffs on us to 10.
What was the amount they were charging us before?
34%.
Listen, you don't hold on. You are very confused. Those are not taxes that we pay. You have it the opposite. You're talking about the numbers of what they pay on U.S. products going into China. We are still paying 30%. And while you were gone, it's nice to see you again, Charles. I just quoted the average tariff rate in the U.S. since factoring in the UK and China deals. And I'm talking about now, remember, you read the numbers for the goods going into China. We don't pay taxes on goods going to China. We pay taxes on goods coming here, which is 30%. But the average tariff rate, when you factor in the UK deal and the China deal, this is from the Yale Budget Lab. The average tariff rate in the US is 17.8%, still the highest since 1934. And it will right now, and this is on the low end, will cost the average family $2,800 a year.
Well, actually,
and I can send you this graph.
Thanks.
I didn't read the whole thing. That's my fault. They actually both went from 34% to 10%.
So they didn't. I'm looking
No,
coming into America is 30%. You can't read. But that was a nice try.
Yeah. Also,
the WhiteHouse.gov.
I'm looking at the same exact one that you're looking at, and yes, I do agree with Felice. You cannot read. So now let's actually just go ahead and see the part that I can't tell if you just intentionally skipped over this because you're being dishonest because it's directly above. But yeah, so first, let's go ahead and level set here. Come back, Charles. Guys, start tapping the screen, guys. What are we doing?
I hear you.
Can you tell me what a tariff is first before we get started? Because
it's a tax on important goods into a country.
Okay, good. So I don't know why you would talk about the ones that China is paying on their way in because we don't pay.
Well, because they both lowered it.
So you just made another concession. You also just conceded here that China is now paying less taxes from us going in.
Yes,
So
but
not
we're also paying less.
So with that
So it's
being
fair.
so how is it fair when we're
not
still
fair.
when we're still at a
What
high?
you're talking about.
Yeah, do you remember when I told you about the 8% number? Do you remember when I told you that? So I'd be much more comfortable paying a measly 8% than over this 30% that I don't think Americans need to be paying.
If we're both paying our fair share, I think it's a fair deal.
Can you
China was
define?
paying way less.
You don't listen. You don't understand how trade deals work,
Oh,
so
boy.
you don't understand that this has nothing to do with that. Actually, and I sent you. Sorry, that dinging is me. I sent you a graph, Chris, to see how we were at 10% imports originally and ended up at 30. It's not a fair share. It will still send us
What are
into
we
a
down
recession.
to now?
30. Did you not hear what she said? Oh my!
No, we're not at
It's-
30 anymore.
Yes, we are.
Charles, I don't know why you can't read numbers, and this isn't even math. This is
At
you
the
can't
website.
read numbers. Charles, well, you can put up the graph I just sent you from the New York Times. Chris. That's
yeah, I got you.
the
New York
actual
Times.
journey.
I checked the
No,
government website.
Charles.
Okay, hey, Charles.
We are imports goods coming from China that get off ships that we buy in the U.S. market have a 30% tariff. I don't
What?
know.
Did I just read that? Chris, you're a Republican?
Dude, can you just focus on the conversation, dude?
Are you Republican?
Charles,
Charles, you're painfully not right.
Charles. The fact, yeah. So here's the thing: I do policy over party, right? Same thing. Like I'm a Christian, but I'm not like a Christian nationalist like you guys, because you guys take my money, send it to Israel for genocide, and try and rob small businesses,
But
right?
you're a turncoat.
Okay, cool, sure, right? I'm called what's looking out for the interest of the American
I don't
people.
like a traitor, so.
Okay, cool. Can you tell me? Okay, cool. Can you tell me which one of the founding fathers was a
You
Democrat?
can't even do math. What do
Right.
you mean a traitor? You
So-
can't even, you have no idea what's going on.
I'm guessing the founding fathers were. I'm so Charles. I guess the founding fathers were traitors because none of them were Republicans. Then, fair.
It's a different party back
And hey,
then.
Charles. Okay, cool. So now that we've established that you can't do math, we're just going to. I'm going to go ahead and put that. And also, hey, Charles, you're doing what's called a non sequitur, right? So this is what happens, right? Conservatism is not good for your wages, not good for your rights, and now you have this dude over here can't answer the question, so he's going to non sequiturs. All right, let me go ahead and put this on the screen real quick. Guys, please tap that screen. We should be at a lot more than 10K. We're getting this party started right now.
I didn't realize I was on mute. Tap the screen. Let's get to 50K as fast as possible for Chris.
How you doing, Felice?
I'm still alive, so I'm doing good. I think that's a win in this economy. It's a pleasure to see you too, Charles.
All right, here we go. There it is.
It's the journey. See how we ended up on May 12th? That's the deal. 30% on goods coming into the U.S.
So let me get this straight. I don't know how the hell this is a W because we were a lot better off before the trade war. What the hell? Freaking Americans are getting.
It's much worse, and this will still drive us into a recession.
you have
And
money in
again,
the stock
the
market?
average yes, I do, Charles. The average
booming today.
tariff rate. No, but that's market manipulation that you don't understand.
Right.
After the UK and the China deal, that's worthless and still will drive us into a recession. The average tariff rate in the U.S. is 17.8%. That is still the largest tax, especially without representation, since 1934, since the Great Depression. Second only to the Smoot-Hawley tariffs, which drove us into the Great Recession.
Do
If
you
you
think we're in a
believe we're in,
depression?
no, that
No,
drove
Charles.
Listen, you don't understand how economics works, so I'll explain to you. It's not a light switch that flips. We are being driven into a recession, right? When you listen to the prospectus on probable recession, right? The probability has been rising.
So like today,
It's not a light switch will flip, Charles. That like yesterday there wasn't a recession and today there is a recession.
Well, I know
That's
that.
not
I
how
have
it
money in
works.
the market. I know it goes up and down. I know that.
It does
But,
okay. The statement you just made has nothing to do with talking about a recession.
Right, actually,
Well, you
So
said
those
what-
two
you said
things
we're
are
going
not
into recession, I
related.
thought.
You having money in the market and making some random statements the markets go up and down has nothing to do with the probability of a recession. So,
That's
Well, you
what-
said we're in a recession. I'm curious why
I
we're
did
in a
not
He-
say we were in a
Charles.
recession. You don't know what the word probability
You said we're
means.
trending towards
Charles,
recession.
you don't know what
Charles.
probability means. No one said we were in a recession. I said
So-
the probability of a recession, if you listen to the prospectus from JP Morgan, from Goldman Sachs, has increased exponentially. The JP Morgan prospectus is, I believe, at 60%. It was at 30%, right, a month ago. And when Trump entered office, we had a bull market, and the opposite was the prospectus was the economy was going to expand, not contract. All of this Trump has done for no reason. There's no pandemic. There's no crisis. It's just because he wants to manipulate the markets.
Well, no, I think that he wanted other countries to pay their fair share.
Okay.
Well,
Like it-
that you don't understand trade. There's no
Char-
such thing. That's
Char-
not true.
Of course I
That's
do.
not
Other
true.
countries
You
don't
know,
pay their-
Charles.
it's common
Charles.
sense.
Charles. Let me just help you. When he told you that these were reciprocal tariffs, we put tariffs on islands where just penguins live. There's no fair share. The UK, I bet you didn't know this. We had a trade surplus with them, and they're now paying 10% tariffs for no reason. But you don't know that, Charles. These are not reciprocal tariffs. It's not about fair share. Every time you say that, that's how I know you don't understand economics. Because you
So-
keep saying something that you hear Donald Trump saying, who does not understand trade deficits. There's no fair share. That's not true.
Trump doesn't understand trade deficits.
Yes,
Absolutely not.
He's a
because
billionaire.
what does that have? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm going to step in. That's actually going to be easy. Cool. So he bankrupted 6 businesses, but he had a trust come back, Charles, because it's going to be painful to hear, right? But
Yeah.
okay, I got you. So I'm going to finish what I'm saying, right?
Go ahead.
So it's cool how you guys talk about handouts and things, but Trump and all six of his bankruptcies.
I know what you're gonna say.
Hey, Charles. Okay, stop cutting me off, dude.
He's
Okay.
in cognitive dissonance. He can't hear the truth about Trump not being
I
good at
know,
business.
right?
It kills
right.
him.
So I'm going to continue saying the truth because this is even documented in the SEC. Charles, I know this is about to hurt, right? Just relax. So he had a trust from Fred and Mary Trump, which is just a fancy name for saying that he had rich parents. He's been able to dip into that trust to literally bankrupt him, to get himself his bankruptcies. To include, I'm actually going to quote you the most famous example. When he literally tanked one of the most profitable business models, that was casinos, right? And the real estate, he actually grabbed $15.5 million to go bail himself out of this. From, I mean, you can laugh, but this is documented on the Security Exchange. I mean, yeah, you can. So no, not yet, right? Because so with that being said, right, if I had a rich parent's trust, right, I would have done the same thing. Also, with that being said, somebody like Jeff Bezos, as much as I absolutely think the dude's disgusting, he raised $300,000 like doing odd jobs and built Amazon. That's what a successful business owner would potentially look like. So now, can you please respond to Trump using mommy and daddy's money to bail him out of his 6 bankruptcies,
Yes,
please?
I would love to. So first and foremost, he was given $1 million from his father.
You made my point again.
It was
Thank you. Thank
300
you.
million. It was 300 million.
Yes.
It was not 300 million.
I'm going to give you a
was.
source. I'm going to give you
Yes,
a
it
source for
was.
that.
Charles, you don't know anything about the guy you worship.
$1 million. Trump said it himself.
You have no idea what you are talking
Trump
about.
said it himself.
Oh, he
Okay,
did? He's a pathological liar.
Okay,
Are you
so
his
I'm going to go ahead and just give a source for this, right? All right,
do they
here we
know
go.
better than
So,
you?
so his
Charles,
dad.
Charles, you're about to learn that you were wrong. Just be quiet.
Yeah. So I'm literally going to give you a quote from his dad, actually, right? So his dad was the one that gave him the money, right?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So not only that, he actually, the grand total with the trust, actually, he actually ended up getting a little bit more than that. It was 430.
He
It was
did
actually
get more than 300 million.
It was actually when you go through the other assets put together, according to Fred, it's actually $413 million. So
wasn't
let's
even
go.
worth that.
So hey, so
Hold
why
on,
is it?
Wait, no, hold on, Charles. He got $414 million. He's a Nepo baby and has lost billions of dollars. So I
How
don't
much
care
are
what
you
Trump.
worth and how much
Charles,
is he worth?
Charles, Listen, you are a temporarily embarrassed millionaire that believes, I guess, money that you inherited makes you intelligent. It does
He
not.
inherited billions of dollars?
Oh, wait. So now you admit that he inherited hundreds of millions of dollars. A second
No,
ago,
he
Charles,
didn't. He's a billionaire
he
himself.
inherited 414 million, but over
Yeah,
300 million from daddy. So stop.
Yeah. So can I go in and read why is it when I'm about to read evidence that refutes you, you start panicking, bro? Like, I don't want
He's
to.
wrong. Charles has been wrong about everything.
Okay, according to Fred Trump, right? According to his interview, Charles, don't, when I mute you, right, it's because you're cutting off a woman, and
All right,
it's like,
go ahead.
Okay, so if you unmute while I'm reading this, I'm just going to start from the top,
Let
right?
him
I'm gonna,
it's fine. Who cares?
yeah, but
if he unmutes?
when he's when I'm in the middle of reading evidence, this dude's insufferable.
He doesn't have to stay on mute. It's
Okay. Here we go. So, according to Fred Trump, he says, I transferred ownership of most of my real estate empire to my 4 living children. The values at the time of the properties were $41.4 million. Now, let's keep going, right, to where everything else added up at. So, total, President's fathers and mother, right, Fred and Mary, transferred $1 billion to their children when they reported to Times Magazine, and that should have produced a tax bill of at least $550 million based on
Tax
a
evasion.
55. Yeah, that's the second part I was about to get to. Based on a 55% tax on gifts and inheritance at the time, which they didn't pay that, by the way. Instead, the children were paid, let's keep adding this up together, right? $52.2 million, or about 5% each, right? So they all got $52 million plus the $41 million. Let's keep going, right? And Robert Trump tried to say all appropriate gift and estate tax returns were filed, but according to the SEC, they actually never found those, right? Yeah, so he's stunting like his daddy, right? Also he was earning $200,000 a year, and in today's dollars by the age of 3 because of Fred Trump royalties. So hold on, I'm adding up the bill, man. Relax. Fred speaking here. Let the father of your president keep throwing you under the bus. Now, okay, well, I'm sorry that him being a trust fund baby, you find that disrespectful, whatever. All right, so by the time Trump had graduated college, so we got the 41.2, we got the fact because of royalties, he was making $200,000 a year before the age of 3. We got the $52.5 million from the real estate, which is an asset, right? So by the time Trump had graduated from college, he was getting the equivalent of $1 million a year from his father. So we're going to keep adding that over to the grand total, and then equity in many companies. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So.
May I respond now, Christopher?
Yep, that's way more than $1 million. Go ahead.
So I'd just like to address, he's bankrupted, what? You said six
Hold on. Can you address what I said first? Because you said...
He never addresses... He doesn't need to address it. Charles, you were wrong. And what scares me for you, Charles, is every time you're wrong about something, you say Trump said. And let me just say something. If I can give you any advice, don't listen to what Trump says. It's not true. Every time you say Trump said, it's easy. It always turns out to be a lie. And a thinking person would say, it's super weird that every time I say Trump said and I say something, someone looks it up and it's not true.
Well, I'm just curious. So he's bankrupted 6 companies. Sure, I'll take
no
that.
one's talking. Okay.
Hey, Charles. No, I need to hear a concession or provide a source because you said $1 million.
He gets it.
I'm trying to respond.
Charles. Wait, hold on. This is where the disconnect is, Charles.
I'm trying to be respectful.
Charles, hold on. Let me just explain to you. This is why Chris is upset. Starting a new conversation or a new topic is not a response to what you need to say is, I concede, I was wrong, Donald Trump lied to me, and then you can start a new topic. Your response, changing the subject so you don't feel stupid, is not a response to this line of logic.
So can you respect my space? The claim is, before you run to something else, you said he inherited 1 million. I went to Fred and the Security Exchange Commission, and I tallied up about $414 million of either cash or fucking assets, and the fact that he was making $200,000 a year as a baby. So Charles,
as a baby
is crazy. Yeah.
Fuck's sake, I wish I was that kid.
Hey, no, Charles, what you meant was I was incorrect. Donald Trump, my Lord and Savior, lied to me. I should probably stop listening to him.
So
that's disrespect. He's not my Lord.
So Charles, so I feel like I've been reasonable here, but if you don't address my,
I'm trying to respond.
Okay, hey Charles, the host is talking, right? Because every time you say you're going to respond, you bring up the bankruptcies, which we're not
You're
arguing.
not letting me respond. I'm trying
Charles,
to
Charles. So
He's
I'm
desperately trying to pivot, Chris. Just
no. So hey, Charles. So if I hear so if I hear bankruptcies one more time, I'm dropping you. So that's a warning.
I didn't
go ahead.
say bankruptcies. You said he's worth 400.
Charles, can you just say I was wrong?
Yes or no?
Just
I
say
never.
I was
No,
wrong,
no.
Charles. No, Charles. We said that's how much he inherited in cash assets from a trust.
That's
Never, and the best part is never paid taxes on it.
Okay.
No, okay. Well, go ahead and say I was incorrect. 414 million is more than 1 million. That's the only.
I believe you both are incorrect.
Okay, then give me a source that says his dad and the Security Exchange Commission both
Trump
say
himself.
otherwise. So Trump himself. All right, man. Can you tell me what the shape of Italy is?
Your mother's pussy.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, wait. And I just want to say something. And Charles, I hope you're still listening because this is for you. I do want to just play this to understand like why Trump is wrong about trade deficits. I do think this will be interesting and useful.
Go ahead. I'm about to grab my charger.
Yeah, you go to you. And I just want to explain how international trade works. And this is I was actually looking for this so I could find something that even like MAGA, whose brains aren't working so good, could understand. And this is the most simple explanation I can get of country to country international trade and why tariffs are bad. This, even you, Charles, you got this. I know you can do it. This will make sense to you.
Okay, so that's the wrong framing. And I just want to ban, to all of your viewers and listeners, I want them to ban any conversation about who won and who lost out. Here's why. The pie is not fixed, right? When you got a fixed pie, if I win, you lose. So figuring out who wins and loses is super important. That's not what trade's about. It's a total intellectual mistake. And I want your listeners, anytime they hear a journalist who frames things that way, to get in the comment section and tell them to take Economics 101 and yell at them and call them economically incoherent and illiterate.
Do you hear that, Charles? That's you.
Impulse, but it's a mistake. Let me go back and explain why. What is international trade? International trade is basically deciding how we reallocate tasks. So let me walk back from international trade and tell you how my family works. I have a partner, Betsy, and we share a household. We have a bunch of household tasks. And it turns out that she's better at some of them and I'm better at others. So what we do in our household is I do IT, I kind of like computers, and she does our taxes. She thinks tax is fascinating. She's a tax economist. As a result, I can promise you our taxes are a lot better and a lot more efficiently done. And honestly, Betsy's not very good at turning the Wi-Fi off and on. And so as a result, our Wi-Fi works more often. So what we've done there is we've taken our household's tasks and we've reallocated them to the person who can do them better. All right, let's add one more twist to this. Justin's from Australia. Betsy's from America. So what we're actually doing is international trade. And the fact that we're from different countries doesn't change the fact that reallocating tasks makes us both better off. And if there were a tariff, a tax that said every time Betsy did my taxes, I had to pay extra, I might choose not to. And if there were a tariff on me helping her with the Wi-Fi, she might choose not to pay it. And then we'd each be doing everything separately ourselves, including the stuff we're bad at, and my family would be worse off. So tariffs prevent people reallocating tasks in ways that make them both better off.
And there you go, Charles. And I know I looked for hours yesterday to find the most simple video that could make even MAGA, besides being taxed without representation, understand how absolutely useless tariffs are. That's economist, also a professor at the University of Michigan. He's a contributor on CNN. His name is Justin Wolfers, Justin Wolfers, Wolfers. Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely asinine to say we're winning. It's just a sign that you're an idiot and you never took Economics 101. You have no idea what you're talking about. If Trump said you're winning, that's a sign that Trump doesn't know what he's talking about or how trade works. It's an allocation of tax, especially after conservatives, i.e. Republicans, wanted to engage in globalization. That was the point.
Ooh, that was painful. I tried to walk him through it. Tried to not lose my cool there.
He's hopeless.
Oh man, just so dang man.
Why do you think Trump inherited $1 million? Trump said. Oh, cool.
Meanwhile, his dad even gave him the breakdown. Like, I gave all 4 of my children 52.
And they owe hundreds of millions to the IRS still to this day. When those assets were passed off, when Fred Trump died, they paid zero taxes. Trump also has a huge tax case that's used like in tax law at universities as basis shifting, and owes, like, it's estimated over $100 million that has to do with the Trump Chicago Tower disaster. He used basis shifting to avoid a $100 million tax bill. You have no idea what you're talking about, Charles. You don't understand economics, and you are listening to a grifter and a liar.
Guys.
Trump won, keep crying. We'll come up here and you can tell us about it. Trump won. If by won you mean he's stealing from you while you defend him idiotically in the comments, then yes, I agree with that. You lost. I do agree that Trump is winning right now. You are losing.
Guys, do me a favor. Let's get more ops in here, guys. Please tap that screen. Unlike the ad valorem tariffs we got ripped off on by a whopping 20%, there's 0 tariffs on the tap. So, like, you guys can also share the live as well, guys. Yeah, we're just on lo-fi time right now because we're gonna have some low vibration arguments happening tonight.
Yes, let's tap the screen and share the live with 5 people. Your favorite or least favorite Republicans, whatever the case may be.
Also, guys, these are my handles right here. This is Felice's Venmo and Cash App right here.
Oh, and I put it right here too.
Just in case someone's looking.
Well, no, it's good. It disappears when we get a guest. So
yeah. Also, guys, I'm also dual streaming on YouTube and Twitch. Come hang out with your boy, even though the comment section there gets a little bit wild, but it's all right though.
And then again, I just want to be clear: when we factor in the UK tariff deal and the China deal for the 90-day fake deal that was just market manipulation. Like, Charles, use your brain. Do you understand what market manipulation is? Drive the markets down so a bunch of people who have capital, not you, Charles, can buy low, then the markets go up. Like, you clearly, anyways. With both those trade deals factored in, the average tariff rate in the U.S. is 17.8%. That is still the highest rate since 1934.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Everybody is losing. We're all losing together while Charles and weird Trump supporters scream they're winning. Just because if you can't do math and you're delusional, it doesn't mean you're not being robbed. You're still being robbed. You're just confused while being robbed.
Yeah, that's what the terrible part is. That's like trickle-down economics.
You're still being robbed, even though you're dead set on, like, Trump loves me, he's going to take care of me. Still being robbed.
Yeah, be like, but it's the immigrants.
But he said the brown people had my money. They don't have it. You're still being robbed for Trump. No matter how many American flags, no matter how many times you write in the comment section that you love Trump, still robbing you. Surprise. And what's that guy's name? Reppin 47. Reppin 47. Why don't you come up here? Like,
because he's scared of a strong woman. That's why. And
no, just come up here and we can inform you of how you're being robbed. We're going to use math. Yeah. It's going to be great for you.
And you know what's crazy about the whole immigration thing? Y'all not saying a damn thing about these Afrikaners. Like, I guess when it comes to white Dutch people, I guess that's going to be taking your guys' tech jobs, by the way. The
South African government said are white nationalists and violent. They would not, they do not recommend that we let any of these people into our country. They are unvetted and not safe. This is from the South African government. Oh, but here's the best part. They make 12x the salary of any black person in South Africa. So I'm certainly glad that we're letting the richest, highest earners who are not in danger in any way, and the South African government says are dangerous people that shouldn't be let into our country unvetted here. Oh, and our tax dollars paid for that transatlantic flight too.
So Repin has his stuff on private. Cool. You can request that when you're ready. Yeah, and like also, isn't South Africa like the murder capital of the world?
And they just got over apartheid. I mean, they've been doing slavery this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
And then the slavers just got amnesty and asylum in our country, even though they make 12x the average salary of any black person in South Africa. We're flying these violent white nationalists, according to the South African government, over here, unvetted. Remember, let me help you, MAGA. You said unvetted people. The only person I know who's releasing unvetted criminals into this country that I can prove it so far is Donald Trump. That's it. The only people I can prove who have committed violence, who have been released from prison and released into the interior of this country is Donald Trump.
Yeah, and he got Andrew Tate back in the U.S., which is crazy, by the way.
Hating Repid so hard for 47. Once we start doing math, it's really going to hurt.
Tap the screen, guys. We need some ops in here. We're just having, guys, I think there's too much light-skin firepower on the panel, guys. It's all right. They'd feel the same way if Steph Curry and Kamala Harris and Colin Powell and Alif Washington were here as well.
Yeah, I'm just super annoyed with people. It's time to start learning math, MAGA. We're going to force you one way. That's what it's time it is. It's math time. It's figuring out who's actually robbing you time. I'm not drowning with you.
Guys, just get to 50K, guys. They're probably getting off of their corn liquor binge. Hopefully they'll come over here at some point.
Corn liquor binge.
Yeah, with rolling around in the mud with each other's cousins in Mobile, Alabama.
I know,
hey, look, I'm
just wrap it up.
Just guys, wrap it up faster.
That's kind of a double entendre. You guys don't know? That's a French word. You can look it up if you can spell it.
And then when they don't wrap it up, they're gonna tell us
I didn't mean that.
Oh no, wait, it actually plays into something political.
I know it does.
So when they don't wrap it up, they're gonna tell other people don't take handouts, but red states have been taking the most government assistance since the year 2000.
Say goodbye to that Medicaid expansion, so that kid is not going to be on Medicaid.
Yeah.
I've just done some statistical analysis on Medicaid expansion. It's so depressing. Why is nobody requesting to talk to us?
I don't know. It got pretty crazy on Sunday. I got lots.
No, that's what you do if you don't want anyone to talk to you. You just mention math, and then Mag is like, "Oh God, am I going to be called upon to do basic math? I'm out. I can't.
Yeah,
do that.
I'm out of there."
Yeah, like there's no possible way I could do math. I just want to also, this is the same economist who's a professor at the University of Michigan talking about the fake, absolutely pointless UK tariff deal. I do think this is interesting too.
Yeah, the UK ones can be bad for farmers.
Let me characterize the whole deal for you. It's 10%. I want you to write that in big font on a big piece of paper, 10%, and there's a little asterisk next to it. The 10% matters because it basically said Trump walked in and he said, I am imposing a 10% tariff on Americans who buy goods from Britain no matter what. And then he said there's an asterisk up here which says, now let's start making a deal. And the making a deal was a promise to have further chats about further conversations, which actually gets very close to nothing done. It was basically collusion between the British Prime Minister and the American President to go out and each lie to their respective populations to pretend each had gotten something done with the other. The reality is this deal does nothing except actually cement in place.
Yeah, and then here's the one more. Because it does do one thing.
Let me characterize the whole deal for you. It's 10%. I want you to write that in big font on a big.
Oh wait, that's not the. No, I want to get. I have this clip about really what it does. It allows Rolls Royces into the U.S. at the lowest tariff rate possible. That's really what it does. Who is buying luxury British cars? Who? If you don't know this, we already had a trade surplus with the UK. We did not have a trade deficit with them. This is just another example of Trump's a liar.
I can tell the dude that was in that video especially like, all right, write this down, 10%.
No.
Oh shit, guys, tap the damn screen, guys. I'm trying to catch these guys out from their freaking I don't even know what their inbreeding session. I'm just gonna name it like that.
To be nicer, it's okay, MAGA. We'll just gently do math with you. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. If you can do math, it'll be fine. But then again, if you could do math, you wouldn't have voted for Trump. That's the kicker. So that's how I know you can't do math.
Homeboy said, running for office, you're grifting, while he has a picture of a sink as his profile picture. Oh, shit.
Wait, who said? Wait,
no, it was JR. I tried to invite him up, but he has the shit on private.
Oh, JR. Too bad.
Yeah, guys.
So brave in the comments.
With your invitations turned off. Yeah.
Yes, gentle mathing. That's what we'll do.
Guys, go ahead and tap the screen, guys. And guys, also make sure you guys, if you're in Texas, you re-up on your electrolytes.
Even when I mathematically show people they're being robbed, they're like, yeah, and I love being bent over by Donald Trump. Super weird.
Okay, we got Reppin' 47 finally up here.
I'm scared.
Yeah. Oh, shiver me timbers. Reppin', how old are you for TikTok terms and services?
37.
Okay, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, what do you want to talk about?
Why don't you guys just go ahead and make a sign and stand on the side of the freeway? Why don't you?
Well, I mean, why would I?
Real fucking job.
So, hey, Reppin'.
Hating on Donald Trump.
So, okay.
Because he's nothing but progress.
All right, cool. So, can you tell me? Let's use the China and UK trade deal. Can you tell me how we benefited from that? Because we got the receiving end of that ass whooping from China. Can you tell me? Can you give us the numbers on that?
Okay, answer this question. Why would China even bother talking to us?
Reppin', because oh my gosh,
why would they even bother talking to us?
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer your question because you chose to ignore mine. It's fine. We proposed it and backed out of the terrorists first. Now, can you answer my question? Because clearly you guys are raving about this trade deal. Cool.
They didn't contact us. We begged to talk to them. They wouldn't talk to us. Then we tracked them down in Geneva, Switzerland, a place they already were scheduled to be.
Them? Oh yeah, we're just
and begged for them to talk to us. Yes.
Texas A&M.
Yes.
No.
Reppin'.
Wait, hold on. What did you say?
No, he's just talking about Texas A&M. It's fine.
Oh, I didn't hear what he said.
So he's panicking now because on your literal secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, actually said the same thing. On whitehouse.gov, the literal name of the document is called Joint Deal Between U.S. and China. U.S. envoy travels to travels to Geneva.
To Geneva, Switzerland. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
where
literally.
We went and tracked China down.
Yeah, so.
Okay, pull it up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna help a bum with a crumb. Let's go, pull it up.
Okay.
Or you could just learn to read and find your own information.
All right, so
if you don't understand, Scott Bessent flew to not even Trump. Scott Bessent flew to Geneva to talk to China and crawl on his knees. Let me help you. If they wanted to talk to us, China could show up in America, just like all the other people that came to the White House to meet Trump, but they didn't.
So I'm going to go ahead and...
Bessent crawled on his knees to Geneva, Switzerland to speak to them.
Yeah, so we're going to find out why I've done it. So whitehouse.gov, and like I said, this is like the easiest debunk ever, but okay. Because I'm going to ask you a question after this, right? Joint Statement on U.S.-China Economic Trade Meeting in Geneva. That's the title before we get to the substance. So before we get to the substance, let's stop
Geneva, Washington, D.C., or what?
Yeah, so can you give me a... It's clearly you voted for Trump. Can you tell me why this was conducted in Geneva?
Why was it conducted?
Yeah, why was
my guess is he doesn't know since he didn't even know it happened. He didn't even know it happened in Geneva. So my guess is no, he doesn't know what was going on in Geneva.
We kept a 30% tariff on them.
Hey, so Reppin',
we got what we wanted.
Okay, hey, so now you decide to answer my first question after ignoring. So we're going to get to that in just a second, right? So tell me why it was done in Geneva, or else, because you do this every time.
You tell me why.
No, well, I know why. You're the one that voted for Trump. I know why. So tell me why it was there.
That's how trade agreements work. They always meet up anywhere. It doesn't matter where they meet.
Something was going... wrong answer again, weirdo. This is how I know that you can't read. See, this is what I'm saying.
If stop fucking twirling your hair, begging for money.
Hey, I'm sorry
Hey,
that I can tell
hey,
you're
hey.
very attracted to me, and that's
Right.
super weird.
Hey,
but
don't talk about your
looking
mom
at
like
my
that.
hair. But anyway,
He just called you the D-word. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Oh,
Yeah,
insecurity
yeah.
at its
Don't
finest.
talk about your mom
I
like
just
that.
wanted to be clear. Something very important was going on in Geneva. That's why China was there. You could have just Googled
Bro,
it and
go
figured it out
unfuck
so that you
yourself
didn't,
chasing around
so that
Charlie
you
Kirk.
did not embarrass yourself.
He's crashing out.
Still, you're up here embarrassing
Nobody's
yourself.
crashing out. You guys
He's
You
are
crashing
have
out.
no idea what's going on. Donald Trump
You guys
is
are a
robbing you
embarrassing shit
and
show.
grifting off of you, and you're sitting here defending him. Yeah,
All right.
let's see. There's 3 people up here. 33.3% of us are embarrassing. I'll let the chat figure out which one of us
So
that is.
I'm gonna read you this.
said
But I'm gonna read you this before I let you go because you're not interested in even having a debate. I'm gonna make you read this because this is how embarrassing your president is. So before the trade war that Donald Trump started, we only had 10% counter tariffs. The trade war is over after shooting up to 145%, which has been the most like since the Great Depression. And now we're down to 30%, which is now China's ripping us off by a whole 20%. Goodbye. All right.
Did he leave or did he run? Calling a woman a bee makes you an insecure weirdo.
Right. Oh, shit.
I do think the best way to describe MAGA is weird. You guys are super weird. Like, if someone broke into my house and did a home invasion, stole everything I had, I would not continue repping them online, you weirdo. Like, someone's stealing everything you have and you're like, repping my home invader. Cool. Any day you figure out how to do math, maybe you'll realize who's robbing you. That's what I'm going to do. Next time someone breaks into my house, I'm going to start wearing T-shirts and be like, repping my home invader.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, how are you going to bring up the trade deal and not even know why it was conducted at the place it was? Like, that's the
Phil
first thing.
doesn't know. Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Oh, I'm
That's
definitely
the
not
next
telling him.
MAGA person.
I'm gonna wait.
Why would they all be just randomly in Geneva? And here's the clue. You have a supercomputer that you're on right now listening to this, so you could just Google it. That's how you know. It's not like China came to sit in the Oval Office. They don't give up. And let me help you with why, because MAGA, I know you have no idea what's going on in the world. JD Couchboy Vance decided to call the people of China peasants.
Brave. Whew. Repping 47's repping that L. Anyway, guys, go on and tap the
He
screen.
called me a B, which is
Right.
super rude. I just called you weird, which if someone robs you and then you're defending them, I do think that's weird. That's a weird thing to do.
Guys, go ahead and tap the screen, guys. Let's go ahead and get these views up.
Trump is a boss. Yeah, do tell.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. Was he boss getting bullied by Claudia Sheinbaum, Canada, China?
Trump's
The-
a boss that's robbing you blind.
Yeah, and he didn't even have the Houthi thing under control, so he had to lie about it.
Well, he also lied about the India-Pakistan ceasefire. They both bombed each other after his alleged ceasefire. Remember No New Wars? Does anyone remember that? If I was in office, no one would ever have the guts to attack anyone else. And yet, every single day, there are countries attacking each other, even after the alleged ceasefire. Remember that? If I was president, no one would ever have the guts to do anything ever, except for people are just continuing to attack each other, and no one gives an F about your Lord and Savior, Donald Trump.
Yeah, ain't nobody scared of him. You said, and you guys call
Remember
yourself...
when those 167, oh, thank you, Meg. I love it. When those $267 million jets just fell off an aircraft carrier into the ocean? Waste, fraud, and abuse, though, right?
Hey, what's up?
Good afternoon, good evening. Some
So-
parts of the country might be later.
Yeah, so you said that you're calling, so you're questioning if we're patriots or not. Let's go ahead and have this conversation.
Well, just in my defense, I'm not too political, so I may be sounding dumb to many people.
Oh no, that's fine though. I'm just trying to like what basis? Because I served my country for 6 years, while the person you voted for ran from the draft 5 times, right? While he over here says that the Arlington National Cemetery, full of my brothers and my sisters that came before me, are suckers and losers. Said John McCain wasn't a real veteran because he got captured. Like, what does Trump know about me? So, can you quantify why me and Felice aren't patriots? I'm just curious.
Well, first of all, thank you for your service, sir. I appreciate you. Thanks to you and in the service of military men and women, I'm able to have the freedom that I have coming from Cuba. The reason I said that is because he's the president of the United States. He is trying to make a better life for us people. I think that's being non-patriotic. That's my opinion.
Awesome, Diva. I love this, right? So luckily, me and Trump took the same oath, right, to defend this document that we derive our laws from. Are you familiar with the Constitution of the United States?
Clearly not.
So it says in the last sentence that we can address grievances against the government. So is me criticizing Donald Trump for things that he does that are bad for Americans, that unconstitutional according to the First Amendment?
No, not criticizing him, not supporting him. I'm saying not supporting him and giving him a chance.
Right?
Is that unconstitutional?
The right to dissent, the right to protest, all of this is written into the Constitution. That is what. Okay, so you are okay. Well, then what you just said is antithetical to what the Constitution said. So who's not in line with the values of America? It sounds like you.
Yeah, and I'm very like surprised, right? As somebody from a country that's been slammed with U.S. sanctions, I'm surprised.
We're all Hispanics up here. Do you know that Trump has deported and disappeared Cubans?